Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jay, and today y'all see the title. Before anything, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and go subscribe to my other channel, my main channel at Yoga with Jay, after you're done watching this video, so we can move our bodies. You know, we heal the bodies, move energy, move trauma through the body. Okay. Now, again, you can see what we're talking about. Everything is your fault, and you should never really feel guilty. You know, don't let the guilt linger. Let me give my disclaimer, because on this channel we do talk a lot about, you know, trauma, pain, healing, and things of that nature. So again, disclaimer, when I'm speaking on everything being your fault, in no way, shape, or form am I talking about things like abuse or trauma that was inflicted on you by other people, or the loss of a loved one. I'm not speaking on things that are out of your control that have happened to you, okay? Because life is unfair at moments, and it really does suck sometimes. So again, these are not things that I'm referring to. Now that we got that out of the way, yes, everything's your fault, and you're not trying to feel guilty. So I want to talk about guilt first. Let me tell you guys, first of all, I got into stoicism like 2 years ago. One of my favorite stoic philosopher people that I like to listen to, his name is Einzelganger, and I bought his book last year and I read the whole thing. I love what he says in this book about guilt and stoicism, which is simple, but you know, you need to hear it. But basically he says guilt can be functional because it's an emotion that tells us that something's wrong. From guilt may arise the effort to do things differently in the future. And I mean, yeah, when we are feeling guilty for things that we've done, it doesn't do anything but hurt us. The past has already happened. We can't go back to it. It's happened already. What are we supposed to do? You can't go back and do things differently, but you can move forward and do things differently. So dwelling on it, it's like a punishment to yourself for no reason, when you could literally just say, I acknowledge what I did that didn't feel good. It's a new day. We are reborn every day. Every single day we are reborn. So I acknowledge it's a new day. I'm a new person, and I'm just gonna move different. It is what it is. Leave it in the past. Feel guilt as it comes up, but don't let it dwell within you, because if you do, you're gonna start feeling like you're a horrible person and you're gonna be in your head so much, and it's gonna be harder for you to move forward with your life because you're gonna be stuck in the past. Okay, now on to everything being your fault. And again, we're talking about things that are pretty much in your control, because here's the thing, and let me tell you guys, I have these conversations with myself all the time. It's so easy whenever things are not going the way that we want them to, or whenever we do have things happen in our life that we don't like, it's easy to immediately run and put that blame on other people or things outside of us, when half the time it's like, no. Bring the energy back within. Bring it back within. Before we start projecting and making excuses, bring the energy back within. What is it that you like? How did you play a role in your own suffering? And these are questions that I ask myself, you know, and this applies to every area of life, from finances to career to love life. Literally every area of life, this all applies. You have to ask yourself, where did you mess up? All the good things that we need to start with self, you know, self-love, self-healing, I can not fucking remember what I was about to say. Self-awareness. I mean, all the stuff that we need, self-discipline, it all goes back to self. And it's funny because when things are going really good in our life, we love to, which we should, to celebrate our wins. Look at what I did. Look at how far I've come. But whenever things are going wrong, we're so quick to run to the default of, oh, well, this happened because, you know, this thing outside of me. It's like, at some point you have to quit making excuses and again, hold yourself accountable for where you're at or how certain things have happened, because if you don't, you're not going to grow and you're not going to get to where you need to be. And it's a hard truth, but it's something that has to be addressed. sometimes it's truly our fault. It can be like when you hear that, when you sit and have a conversation with yourself and you're telling yourself everything is my fault, on one hand it's kind of like, damn, all right, that hurts a little bit. It is kind of my fault. On the other hand, when you tell yourself everything is my fault, it's like, you know what, it is, everything is my fault. I have the power to go off and make the best decisions. And this is not saying we don't have to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect, but it's more about waking up every day and, you know, showing up as our highest self. What would your highest self be doing? Show up as that, and you're typically going to get the results that you want. Oftentimes we get in these bad situations, or for me, the moments where I do self-reflect in the role I played in my own suffering, it's 9 times out of 10 a situation where I knew better, like my intuition told me better, or I knew the consequences of those actions, but I did it anyway, hoping that I was gonna get a different result than what I knew I was gonna get, you know? Now, the one example I will use, I'm gonna use love. Again, what I'm talking about applies to every area of life, okay? But we're gonna use love life, for example. Last year, there's a moment with my love life where there's somebody, you know, everything started off great, and this person definitely showed me signs that they were emotionally unavailable and that they were not ready for the things that I was ready for. What did I do? You know, I stayed around, kinda. I would come and go, but I stayed around enough to the point that I definitely got my heart broken. And when that happened, although yes, we put accountability on people for the role that they play, but when that happened, I had to have a very honest conversation with me, myself, and I said, girl, you knew damn well, like you knew 100% that this person was not good for you. You know, you guys were on different pages. You knew that this person was emotionally unavailable, and instead of completely cutting contact, you stayed around and you got hurt. You stayed around, you got hurt. Therefore, you getting hurt in this situation is 100% your fault because you kind of knew better and you did it anyway. Okay, so that's one example of how stuff like that can show up. Or for example, if you, let's just say you are like running short on money for bills or something like that, and somebody, again, this is just an example, but somebody might say, oh well, my job doesn't pay me enough. But it's like, if you look at your bank statement, did you really need to eat out all the times that you did? Like, did you really have to overspend? And because believe it or not, okay, y'all know the vibes, spending a little bit here and there, it adds up. So again, if you look at your spending habits, like, you have to take accountability for that. It's like a domino effect. Every action that we take has some kind of consequence, and this is such a neutral statement because this is good or bad, but every action you take has a consequence, and we have to be aware of that. And again, we cannot, when something unfortunate happens, it's not like, again, where is it your fault? Where? Even when it comes to things like accomplishing goals that we have, it's so easy to say, oh well, I have things going on with family and work and this and that. I have all these things going on, and that's why I didn't hold myself accountable to, you know, eat healthier this week or go to the gym like I said I was gonna do. And it's like, no, it just wasn't a priority for you. You did not hit that goal because you didn't fully show up. It's your fault that you didn't hit the goal. It's not the fault of everything around you. We are always going to be being pulled in so many different directions. And with that, we cannot not show up for ourselves and do the things that we said we were going to do and then blame it on these outside factors. This is your world. You create it. Another thing that I love, so this also came from a book that I read. It's called Secret of Nothing. If you're new here, I am a huge bookworm and I read all the time, and so I like to reference books that I've read. But this book called Secret of Nothing, he said something along the lines of basically, it's okay, like whatever you did, in the past and however you were moving in the past, it's okay, because you made a decision then based off of what you knew and who you were at that time. Now that you know better, you could do better. Basically, it's not what he said word for word, because this book takes place in the older times, so he worded it a little bit differently. But you know, not when you know better, you do better. So that is, you know, my homework to y'all. Figure out, what role are you playing? That could be a journal problem. What role am I playing in my own suffering and my own lack of me accomplishing my goals and being where I want to be? And how can I move differently? Do I need to be more disciplined? Do I need to listen to my intuition the first time around? Do I need to sacrifice a little bit more right now? Figure out what you can do to enhance your life. But like I said, you know, I'm so big on taking accountability, because yeah, I mean, it all comes, it's our life. We have to be the ones that save ourselves. We have to be the ones that get us to where we want to be. We have to be the ones that make us proud. And the longer that we put off taking accountability and understanding how we are showing up and basically self-sabotaging and self-abandoning, pretty much, the longer it's going to take for us to get back on track and become who we need to be in that next chapter and in order. And it's going to take longer for us to be proud of ourselves. Okay, but in the meantime, I am proud of you, flaws and all. You're doing amazing. All right, I want you to know that you have come so far and you're on the right path with everything. But sometimes we just have to sit and recenter, you know, refocus our energy, get our priorities back to a good place, and then we move on from there and we thrive. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.